Oh,
Wow.
says that. Hi, it's Bob Pickett, visiting right now with David Nail. David has a new song out called Red Light. I know that you've heard it. I know you've seen the video on our website too. Now, you've been in Nashville for a long time. This is
10
not
years.
overnight. 10 years?
10 years, I guess in September, and there's been moments where it seemed like it was yesterday, and then a lot of moments where it's like, wow, I turned 30 in May and moved here when I was 20, and it's been a pretty wild ride. I never dreamed that it would take this long, but because of Red Light, if they'd have just told me 10 years ago, hey, it's going to take you 10 years, but everything will work out, I've been fine. But there were a lot of moments where I wasn't sure that we would be here now, so it's pretty exciting time.
What did you do during those 10 years? I know that you coached baseball.
I did. I got a record deal right off the bat, and had a song, and it didn't do real well, and then I just kind of got out of the business. Was still writing songs, but a buddy of mine more or less just saved me and invited me out to coach this group of kids, and I love sports and love baseball, and just spent 2 summers traveling around with these 17-year-old kids, and just kind of reminded me what it was like to be young and not really have any worries, and it was more or less when I moved to town, kind of their age, and I just kind of realized how lucky, as cliche as it sounds, to be alive and just kind of have a job, and it was after that second summer that I kind of sat down and realigned my goals and where I thought I needed to make some changes, and just kind of started from there, and here we are.
Now, so much has changed for you the past year. First of all, you got a hit record, of course, with Red Light. You're also newlywed.
I am. Got married in June, and didn't see her for much of June or July, and even August. We were on the way over here, and I said to the guys that were playing with me, I said, "What happened to August?" It's just been one of those things where you try to slow things down and soak them in, but it's just a new city every day, and you just a wise person told me when I first moved to town, they said, if you're not busy, things aren't good. So anytime I have 3 or 4 days off, I start freaking out and calling the record label and management saying, hey man, I need to be going somewhere, and what's the deal? Is something wrong? We need to be playing somewhere, and it's just as far as being married, it's good because after 10 years in town, I think I don't know if jade is the right word, but you start to just kind of get used to things and maybe take some of the things that happen to you that for granted, and so her being so green and not really knowing anything about music business, she freaks out about the smallest thing, whether it's seeing Keith Urban in a sushi restaurant or whatever, it's just that Brad Paisley, she was a nanny, and the first week she ran into Brad Paisley and his kid, and just it was just hysterical, not realizing that was kind of a normal occurrence in Nashville. So it's good to kind of be reminded of how blessed you are to be in Nashville, and what a wonderful scene it is, and the vibe about the city, and it's kind of, I guess I've fallen in love with the business and everything else again, just kind of having her remind me of how lucky I've been.
Now, you've been there, like I said, for 10 years. You come from a small town in Missouri. Maybe a small town, but there's a lot of famous people from this town.
There is, I can remember, I guess I had just started high school, and Sheryl Crow had been, we'd hear, the newspapers, she was singing background for Michael Jackson, and there was an article about her making this record, and we didn't really hear anything about it until that first Grammy Awards. I guess she was nominated for a bunch. I think she won every one she was nominated for, and then the rest has really been history for her. And then Trent Thompson's a country artist who's 5 years older than me that moved to town and has had some success too. So everybody always asks me, like, what's in the water there, and I don't know if there's necessarily some sort of scientific explanation other than the fact that there's not a whole lot to do, and it's one of those places where there's not really a music scene. It's not like there's bars or places to play. It's just people love music, and they support like the arts, and it's a big deal when there's the High School Musical and the plays and stuff like that, and the quarterback and the basketball team's a part of that, and it's not one of those schools or communities where it's the jocks on one side and the artsy band nerds on one. They're just all kind of mixed in together, and it's almost like you're not cool if you're not a part of those things.
And we forgot to mention in the video for Red Light, that is your wife.
It is, that was the cheapest talent. It's one of those things when we were we were filming it, and right off the bat, we were running out of daylight, and they filmed the fight scene, and so, you know, I kept looking at her. I was like, "Are you nervous? Are you nervous?" And she's like, "No, I'm fine, I'm fine." So we pull up at the red light, and we get out, and she immediately starts yelling at me, and it was like really freaky how she just went right into character, and you know, you'd think she'd be acting, and she'd be saying, you know, it's over, I'm breaking up with you, but she was screaming at me. She was like, "You need to start picking up around the house, and you need to," and then like the second time she was like, it was 95 degrees in Nashville that day. She's like, "You're sweating. You've got armpit stains already. What's that about? You can't do that. We're getting filmed." And so I'm dying laughing, and the director's like, "What are you doing? You're supposed to, this is like the end of your life. You can't be laughing." I'm like, "Do you hear what she's saying to me? Like, this is so random." But it was neat, you know, and that's one of those things. We had been married, I think, about a month and a half, and it was really cool because, you know, I knew that being married that quickly, I didn't want to have that conversation of, "Hey, honey, I got to have a video, and there's going to be this girl in it." So, you know, I tell people all the time, and they think I'm joking, but little moments like that make your quality of life so much better at home. You know, if you can just kind of incorporate as many of those as possible.
That's cool. This is David Nail. Listen to his, your album, by the way, is called
I'm About to Come Alive.
Pick It Up. You're going to enjoy it.